Today we're making the perfect ramen egg. It's gonna be beautifully flavored with that soft and gooey goodness. To start off, I'm gonna be showing you a very easy way to make a ramen egg, and I'll be showing you a little fancier way as well. For those of you that stumbled across the channel, I'm Frank from AM Ramen. I grew up in Tokyo and I adore ramen. It's safe to say that ramen eggs are a lot of people's favorite toppings. They're wonderfully runny, and today I'm going to show you how exactly to make them. Now let's think about this ramen egg process as two things. One, soft boiling the eggs. Two, marinating the eggs. Let's start with soft boiling the eggs. We'll get to marinating the eggs a little later, including what ingredients you need. At that point, we can talk about the simple method or the fancier method. I'm making 6 eggs in this batch. Before boiling the eggs, it helps to poke a hole at the bottom of each egg. This will make them easier to peel later on, as the egg white won't stick to the shell as much. In Japan, they have these handy tools used exactly for this, but a needle will work as well. Bring your pot to a boil and gently place each of the eggs into the boiling water. Do it gently so you avoid cracking them. Give them a stir every so often in order to center the yolk too. Also, don't feel bad if you crack any. That's why you're making several. You want to boil these eggs normally for 6 to 7 minutes. Of course, experiment with that boil time. Maybe you like your eggs quite runny and therefore less time will do it. Just keep in mind that the more soft and runny the eggs are, the harder they'll be to peel later on. Right after you boil them, make sure to have an ice bath ready. Tupperware or a bowl will do. You'll gently place each of the eggs in this ice bath. This stops the cooking process and makes sure that they'll stay soft boiled. After they've cooled down in the ice bath for a few minutes, you're ready to peel them. Peeling is never fun, but before you peel, if you make a crack either where the hole at the bottom is or right down the middle here, your peeling life will be made easier. If you're gonna crack it in the middle, just be careful about not cracking them too hard. You don't want to damage the eggs. When you're peeling, use the same ice water or running water under the faucet to assist you. And voila, aren't they pretty? Again, these of course can be enjoyed as is. Now for part 2, the marinating. The simplest thing you can do is use soy sauce and water. With soy sauce, you can get pretty geeky with the different types, but any Japanese soy sauce will essentially be fine. If you have 6 to 10 eggs, 2 cups of water and half a cup of soy sauce is more than enough. It's not really necessary for my particular Tupperware here, but it can help with some of them if you add a paper towel on top. This makes sure that the marinade or tare properly coats the eggs all around. Toss them into the fridge for at least 24 hours and you're good to go. But if you want to get a little fancier, here's what you can do. In addition to the half cup of soy sauce, you can add 1/4 cup of mirin or rice wine and 1/4 cup of cooking sake, and about 2 tablespoons of sugar if you like. So in summary, a fancier seasoning is not just soy sauce and water, but also mirin, cooking sake, and sugar. Now you can stop here and marinate your eggs in these ingredients and toss it all into the fridge. Or you could take it one step further. To crank it up a notch, all these seasoning elements can be boiled alongside these aromatics. Shiitake mushrooms, negi or spring onions, ginger, and katsuobushi or bonito fish flakes. If you don't have all these ingredients, it's completely fine, of course. Let's say, for example, you only have soy sauce, water, mirin, and ginger. Use what you have, no big deal. Any combination of these items I've mentioned can work. Now back to the aromatics. You want to chop up your negi, shiitake mushrooms, and ginger into smaller pieces. Boil the cooking sake and mirin first, then add the aromatics you just chopped up, along with the soy sauce and sugar. I normally add the water at the very end, after boiling everything together. Now you want to let all these ingredients get acquainted for about 8 minutes. Then strain. And here's that wonderful, deeply flavored marinade. Now, this marinade is going to be hot. You don't want to toss your eggs into this immediately. If you do, you'll be cooking the eggs again. To maintain that soft-boiled texture, make sure the marinade is properly cooled down first. Just like before, Let them chill in the fridge for at least 24 hours. Now everyone's different. I personally like 24 hours, some people might just like a few hours. For reference, this is what they can look like if you leave them in longer, maybe 72 plus hours. Or in my case, if you use a particularly dark shoyu or soy sauce. This isn't a bad thing, of course. It just means a more intense and concentrated flavor. Now don't let that marinade go to waste. You could use the remaining amount in a stir fry, like I'm doing here with pork slices. But today, they're destined for ramen. Cut them in half or leave them whole, up to you and how you want to present them. Ramen shops will often use fishing lines to cut the egg. I don't have a fishing line myself. Now, as I mentioned earlier, depending on your cook time, if you shave off 30 seconds, you'll get them a little bit gooier, as I've done here. But it's really up to you. I don't always start by eating the eggs first, but on this occasion, I think it's appropriate. That's good. These were the fancier ones, so there's a little bit more depth of flavor. You can taste that katsuobushi fish accent alongside the other aromatics that I tossed in there. It's got a wonderful savory flavor from the soy sauce and a little bit of sweetness from that sugar. Very well balanced and awesomely gooey. Well, can't let these noodles get soft. I hope you enjoyed this ramen egg recipe video. If so, please smash that like button. This is Frank from 5 AM Ramen reminding you that Tokyo is the only place in the world where you can have awesome ramen at 5 AM. Thanks again for joining.